Alright, I'm making a video after I actually did the project. Alright, this is a door handle for my car, which I painted yesterday. And I did take a few videos along the way, so I'm gonna maybe cut and paste them in sequence following this. But I'm basically talking about these different items. And my point is also that I'm a do-it-yourselfer. And my auto body and auto painting is definitely like only for like a do-it-yourselfer, especially that doesn't want to use hardener, because I believe hardener should be done in a paint booth for like a professional body shop. So I avoid hardener, which kind of limits me to the paints I'm going to use, and mostly it's going to be an acrylic enamel, which you don't need hardener. So that's the one thing I'm going to be talking about. Is this is a, I think it's made by PPG. It's an Omni, and it's a paint that you can go to a local dealer, not a dealer, a paint supply place or a body shop place, and you can order it for whatever color you want based on the color code. So this one matches my car, which is this silver here. Okay, now this thing was plastic and it came black. It was all black. The videos I already did showed all that. And the next thing I did was I tried this product, the primer adhesion promoter, which is good on plastic. So that's in the video. And then also I'm trying to show that this little Harbor Freight gun actually sprays this paint very well. I didn't mention that the nozzle on this gun is 0.6, which is very small. Typically the guns are 1.4. This is 0.6, and it definitely, even though that sounds so small, like that this paint would never go through it, and it actually sprays it pretty well. It did this almost effortlessly, you know. And one other thing I didn't mention yesterday, when I mixed the paint to put in here, I think I had a half a teaspoon measure, and I counted out four paint and then 1/2 teaspoon of the reducer. So basically it's like 2.5 teaspoons of paint that was in here, which only barely filled the bottom of the cup, and it was plenty to do this. So that's the whole point. That this gun really does spray it well for small things. It's very good for small touch-up jobs. The PPG Omni paint is easy to spray. If I've done a full fender with it, with a bigger gun, and it sprays very easily. Not using hardener. This stuff seems to work nice. When I first sprayed it, it was all wet looking, and then it dried, but it dried like a matte. It dulled it out. And that's about it. So now, if I cut and paste these other videos, you'll see when this was black and when I sprayed it, and then you'll see when a little example when I used this gun with this paint for that. This new door handle I'm going to be putting on my car, and it's not only plastic, it is kind of glossy. So alrighty, that now has a coat of the adhesion promoter on it. Now I sprayed it, it was very wet and glossy, wet looking, totally clear, and now it's already becoming like matte looking, dry matte looking. There's a 10-minute window to hit it with the primer now. Alright, little project I got going on in my basement. It's cold January, so I'm in the basement. So I broke a door handle on my car. I ordered one, but it was all black plastic. So I wanted to paint it before I put it in the car. So I know it's hard to put paint on plastic. It's, you know. So I found that Rustoleum has a primer. It's called Adhesion Promoter. I like their spray cans, their primer, especially for small projects. So I decided to go with it. I read the instructions. I called Rustoleum to make sure that I can put a primer on top of their adhesion promoter because I wanted a primer that's like a gray color before I put the paint on it. I didn't want to put clear on top of black and then put silver paint it. I thought it'd get a dark silver. So they said, sure, you can do that, no problem. So I sprayed the adhesion promoter on the black plastic that I had sanded lightly to scuff it. It went on nice and wet and glossy, smooth. Then I let it dry, and it got a matte looking, very flat looking. You only have a 10-minute window to put paint on top of this stuff for some reason. So within 10 minutes I put down some primer. I used a primer sealer, kind of gray. Okay, so then I put the primer sealer to get the gray primer, and then I mixed up some, I have a Omni acrylic enamel paint for touch-up paint. It's not really touch-up paint. You buy it however much as you want. So anyway, I mixed it up. It's a very good acrylic enamel. It sprays, it's very thin. It dries quick. It sprays wonderful. And believe it or not, one of my favorite guns to spray it with is this Harbor Freight mini detail gun. This thing is like really for small. This, you could probably paint it and a model car with this thing. It's so small. It's like an airbrush. But it does spray. It sprays very well. I like it. You don't get much of a fan out of it. You don't get much of a fan. The fan is probably like that much. But this paint can spray out of it absolutely perfectly, like right there. So I'm going to try to give you a quick demo. I got to put the camera down. And there, I'm just going to show you a little bit. That's how easy it sprays. And like a, you know, this is, it's already got a good coat. I'm going to put another coat on just for, that's how nice it sprays out of the gun. And it's way, the gun sprays that paint excellent. I don't use hardener. I do use a little reducer in it. I think it's 4 to 1. But it really sprays. You can see how it became nice. If there's